My name's Albert Geigel and I'm the principal of MW Partners, Specialist Dental Accountants. In this episode, what I'm looking at is the 2018 Tax Office hit list. Those things that are in the radar for clients, and in particular the deductions that they're going to claim. So the things that the tax office are looking at are claims for car expenses, because that's one of the major expenses that's there. Travel expenses, clothing and laundry, self-education expenses, expenses that people claim where they're working from home, and gifts and donations. Now, most of those expenses are ones that apply to dentists. Now, car expenses are in the spotlight because they're a major expense, and most certainly dentists need to ensure that their claims are valid. There are only two ways to claim, and that's a cent per kilometre method for up to 5,000 kilometres travelled, or you need to keep a logbook. You need to remember that home to work is private travel. Even if you have a home office, that will not constitute travel from one place of business to another, unless you also happen to have a dental chair in your home office and you're treating patients. The way that you will get travel from home to work is if you're carrying bulky equipment. Now, this area is a little bit complex, which I've gone through in a previous episode that you can look at, but it's something that you need to be careful of, considering that it's under the radar by the ATO. Travel expenses is one that often comes up with dentists where they are travelling to a CPD course, whether that's interstate or potentially overseas. It will be something that will be viewed by the tax office to make sure that it's not just a lavish holiday or something like that, that it is in fact for work and education purposes, those travel expenses. Clothing and laundry usually are a minor expense, but it needs to be occupational clothing or a uniform that's logoed to basically get a fairly simple $150 deduction. Self-education expenses are always in the spotlight, particularly so for dentists, because to keep your CPD points up, a number of the seminars that you might go to are fairly expensive. A lot of courses that are on implants and ortho and those type of things are quite pricey. A number of them are also done overseas, and therefore a large claim of $10,000 or $20,000 will often be reviewed by the tax office. Where it's self-education expenses, it must be in relationship to the work that you're currently doing. I used to often joke that if you were working as a dentist, you couldn't go and do a car mechanics course and expect to get it. But the tax office have defined that down to, if you're working as a dentist, doing an ortho course is not in line with the current work that you're doing, other than the dentist arguing that they currently do orthodontic type work, and this is just giving them that speciality. So it's something that you need to be, again, careful, have enough documentation to back you up on, so that you can get that claim. Gifts and donations, you need to have a receipt. You need to have something that's with a registered charitable organisation. They're on the ATO website, so it's not just a matter of going, yeah, I gave $100 to the Royal Children's Hospital or whatever. You need to be able to support it. It's what the tax office are looking at. They need to look at these things more often than not for most occupations, because there's a feeling that, look, a lot of these things, I've claimed them year after year, I've never had a problem, just means that you haven't been picked up by the tax office. Now, the tax office are also looking at specific occupations, and in my opinion they look at pretty close to the same occupations year in, year out. And on the list again for 2018 is medicos, which will in fact cover dentists. There are ATO fact sheets, and they go through really very basic items that explain a bit like what I've just done with travel expenses and car expenses, and just advise you what you can claim and what you can't claim and where some misconceptions are. They're available on the ATO.gov website, so just have a look. A bit of a search through there will give you a better idea. But the one thing I want to impress on you is this: it's done in a very simplified manner, and for most of you, if you take your particular circumstances and look at the very simplistic explanation, you'll go, I can pass that, I can get that tax deduction. You must remember this is very simplistic, and you need to make sure that what you're claiming applies to your particular circumstances and to the tax law as it currently stands. So get expert advice, particularly where you've got a potential large claim. That's all for me for this episode. I hope you've got something out of that. I hope that you will spend some time putting together your deductions, making sure you ring your accountant. Hopefully that's me, and doing that in advance of the 30th of June to make sure that you put together everything that's necessary for a correct claim. In my next episode, what I will be talking about is the new STP, the single touch payroll system that is coming into play. It is eventually going to affect every dental practice, so it's something that you need to know about, whether you need to know about it now or in the future. So look out for that episode coming to you.